Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Ben Rosenbaum, and as always, joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Laura Harper. Coach, thanks for joining us, and welcome back inside TU Arena.
Thank you so much for having me.
So this past week, we were just talking before we started rolling, it had to be as frustrating as a weekend that one could have. You lose two games by 2 points each there, and I mean, what is, just collectively kind of stepping back and looking at the weekend, what was the mood after, I guess, the NCAT game and just coming out of that without a win?
In the moment, it's hard to see positive in two games quite like that. I think I usually say 24 hours, I needed 48 to really see our team is getting better. We really are. One could say they are the top of the league, the top of the conference, and we're up 5 with a minute 19. We just have to make better decisions to pull a game like that out. So I think we're in a place now that it's on us. We know that there's a lot of us things that we can correct, and I feel each week we continue to raise the level of our team.
Well, let's rewind. Let's go back to that Monmouth game, falling short 56-54, in it at the very end, until the very end. And I mean, India, Nay, and Hadi all in double digits. Hadi a rebound shy of another double-double for her. It's just like you were saying, the team's getting better. It's obvious to anyone who's been watching all year. This team is a very different team than we were when we tipped off a couple months ago. And when you look at that Monmouth game, especially that last play, the lob to Hadi from Nay, I mean, that was just executed to perfection there.
Yeah, we grew from an execution standpoint in that game. Just from there, just the threes that we were able to get off, even though they didn't go in, I think it's, okay, they're starting to believe and see and hold themselves a little bit more accountable there.
Turnover-wise, too, took excellent care of the basketball against Monmouth. Just 6 turnovers. We've been seeing India running a little bit more point. Is that something that is new now for her as well? She's been a woman of many hats this year so far. How has she been with running the point?
Of course, naturally the ball's in her hands a lot of the time, and, Rhea does a phenomenal job as point guard as well. I think, going into A&T specifically, we were just putting a bigger matchup there defensively, as we're also trying to just hang our hat within our defense as we continue to just finalize our identity. They'll play together some, but we're just going to start a little bit bigger.
And with Monmouth, I know an emphasis for you had to be on the interior play following that Monmouth game. 42 points for the Hawks in the paint, and they won the rebounding battle as well. What was said to them between the Monmouth game and the NCAT game that said, hey, we got to be better inside?
Quite a bit. I think our team knows how I value protecting the paint and getting paint points and rebounding and running. So, to have a game quite like that, it's okay. We need to go back to the drawing board and have some really serious conversations. Our depth and our strength is inside, so we should never get demolished inside, and I don't plan to allow that to happen ever again.
NCAT comes in here. They were at the top of the table, and like you mentioned, up 5 on them with just over a minute to go. But India Johnston started that game as hot could be. It seemed like she could not miss early on. She finishes with 21 points, 4 assists as well. I mean, this is the India I think that we'd like to see night in, night out.
This is who she is. This is who we all know that she can be. I think, we do an amazing job as a staff challenging her, pushing her past her comfort zone, and it's just fun when all of that comes into fruition in one game. Like A&T, it's just disappointing that we weren't able to get the win.
Nay Staten with 12 as well. We've talked about her ever since coming back from injury right before conference play began. Nay has added a different dimension. I think some of us last year saw what she could do, saw glimpses of it, but she has been really outstanding. It's almost like watching a totally different player from last year to this year.
Oh yeah, Nay has transformed her game. She's added another level of guard skills. She's continuing to defend and rebound, and she's only been playing for 4 games. So, I just remind myself from that great standpoint of, okay, we're 1-3 in conference and 4 games with Nay, with Kayla. And I think we're going to continue to grow and build throughout, knowing that they're going to get a few more game minutes under their belt.
And you mentioned Kayla Morris, and this has been a year of twists and turns for the Tigers. Obviously, the on the road for what seemed like a year and a half to start the season, and then you have the injury bug. And then right before conference play, Nate comes back. And then as conference play starts, Kayla comes back. So you had gotten into a rhythm, and then you have to insert these 2 other pieces in. Now that everyone has kind of been back and you're getting minutes, it does seem like the roles are starting to develop and you're seeing more of a rhythm. How has that gone developing? And there's still certainly a way to go in there.
Yeah, I know who the head of our defense is, and that's Samaya Turner. Day in and day out, and Amina comes in and gives her a relief there. So we're able to see that. There's a lot of just intangible things. AJ comes and provides big, just energy minutes off the bench, and just also finalizing a Hottie Kayla combination. That's new, but I really like it.
So looking forward to this weekend. Just one game for the Tigers this weekend here at home. Game will be on Monumental Sportsnet as well against the Northeastern Huskies, who they're looking for a win. 1-11 on the season, 0-3 in conference play, coming off a loss to UNCW. Is it hard to scout a team where you see them just trying different things, maybe night in, night out, to try to find that elusive win?
Ultimately, this is really about us. And we've watched Northeastern, and we know, how talented those two guards are on their team, but just the same amount of struggle that they have experienced, so have we. And I think that ultimately this is time for us to grow in conference, and, we're just excited for another opportunity to play.
Abby Jegede, the transfer from Villanova, averaging 15 a game, the bright spot on this team for the Huskies. How do you go about containing her and trying to slow her down?
Yeah, I've known her since she's from Canada, since high school, and I think the good thing is we have some size at that position, a lot of respect for her, and also I'm not sure how to pronounce the point number 22, her as well. She gives a lot of energy, similar to that point guard from Monmouth, of like pushing the pace and transition, and they shoot the three exceptionally well. I think they're 8 of 23 is what they average from three, so we have to make sure we're guarding that three-point line.
What kind of answer, this is kind of a far out question. Towson wins this game if Towson does what?
Rebounds, defends, runs. Those are kind of the things we always say. We did that versus A&T, and we were really, really close. But we have to guard straight line drives, and we have to limit them to one shot and try to get some offensive rebounds too.
And to that point, you mentioned it against A&T. Do you have to kind of remind them? Yes, it was tough to come away with 2 losses there, but you did the things you had to do up until the very end, and it's hard to try. No moral victories, right? It's hard to take them, but you have to show them that you're there. It's right there. You got to just run through the tape, kind of play through the whistle.
Yeah, we definitely go back and reflect and bring out the positive. But I think the biggest thing is we are continuing to get better. We're not a team that has, plateaued at all. We're continuing to ascend, and that we're in the climb stage of our season, and we're hopefully can climb a little faster.
All right, Coach, looking forward to it, and we'll see you Friday night.
Thank you so much.
All right, the Tigers and Huskies hit the floor here inside TU Arena at 6 o'clock. Joe Matthews and I will have the game on Monumental Sports Network as well as Flow Sports and TowsonTigers.com. For the head coach of the Tigers, Laura Harper, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.